Today's episode of the Just Keep Swimming podcast is brought to you by Audible. Audible is an online audiobook and podcast service offering over 10,000 books and the ability to listen to your favorite podcasts, including the Just Keep Swimming podcast. I personally use Audible all the time and suggest you take a listen to Intentional Living by John C. Maxwell. In this book, Mr. Maxwell shares a story on how he was able to live a noble and purposeful life and gives you tips and tricks so you can do the same. So please start your 30-day free trial now at www.audibletrial.com/JKS podcast, all lowercase. Again, that is www.audibletrial.com/JKS podcast. And if you have any more questions or concerns for the Just Keep Swimming podcast, you're always welcome to reach out to us on Facebook or on Instagram at justkeepswimming_podcast, or you can email us at jkspodcast702@gmail.com. And with that out the way, let's dive into it. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Just Keep Swim podcast. This is your friend, your boy, your host, Mr. Adrian Jackson, and we're back at it again with another great episode for you. And you already know who's with me. It's the man, the myth, the legend. It's Mr. 1-3, got his nose in the books right now, trying to pass these final exams. So let's send some love, some prayers his way so he can pass and get that degree. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I kind of have I feel like all my episodes are interesting, of course, but for today's topic, it's kind of a semi-sad one, a just deep thought one that I want to share with you guys. But today I want to talk about man's best friend. So as you guys all know, we always talk about, they always talk about how dogs are man's best friend. And unfortunately, recently, my girlfriend Jessica, she had to put her dog down. So first and foremost, I want to say RIP to Charlie. We're going to miss you for sure. We're going to miss you so much, bro. You gave us 14 amazing years. You were around longer than anybody expected. And, for what happened to you was just so sudden and really caught us all off guard. So pretty much what happened was he has a tumor in his stomach. And, it kind of just came out of nowhere. Like on the day of his birthday, it was fine. But then within 2 weeks after that, he just wasn't feeling well. And it came out this morning that, he just wasn't eating at all. And with Jessica's mom's cooking, it's like, if you're not eating her food, you must be sick because her food is so good. And, at first they were cooking food for him just to try to keep him eating, but he decided he didn't want to eat at all no more. And he's just been in pain, and you just see it in his eyes. And it's like, yes, we want to see him live longer, but at the same time, we don't want to see him suffering because nobody wants to see anybody suffering at all, whether it's an animal, whether it's another human being, we hate to see suffering. I feel like it's in our human nature to try to avoid suffering, and that's something that he was going through. So, they had to make the super hard decision to put him down sooner than expected, and it's sad. I'm still kind of sad. I'm still hurt about it, definitely being that it's so recent, but we will get through this like we always do. But as I was thinking about it, I was like, Charlie was more than just a dog to me. He was actually a friend to me. Like, I really appreciated Charlie. Like, every time I came around, he always showed love. He was always kind. He never tried to bite me or anything like that. When we go for our walks, it was just me and him time. He always walked with me. If we raced, he'll start the race with me. He never had any other issues with any dogs. It was just always so much love with this man, and it got me thinking, like, why do we call dogs man's best friend? And in my research, I came up with 3 talking points, which I believe will pretty much describe why we call dogs man's best friend. So the first thing I want to talk about is the unmatched loyalty. As we all know, everybody who's a dog owner out there is a loyalty that these dogs have for you that they can't hide it. They can't get away from it. Like, it's just really in their blood to be loyal to you, loyal to your family, loyal to your home. And that's like loyalty that you can't buy no matter what you do, you know. Like, it's sad to say, but there's people out there that don't treat their dogs well, and their dog is still loyal to them, you know. They still protect the house. They still come when their name is called. They still wait until it's feeding time to eat, you know. Like, if a dog was unloyal, you know, the dog will run away. He'll get out of there, you know. I seen a funny video the other day where this person had a dog, and then all of a sudden the dog became famous. And when the dog became famous, he didn't want to be around his owner no more, because now he was around all these rich and famous people. And dogs don't do that, you know. Dogs don't care about your status. They don't care about your situation. They don't care about what happened at work, what's going on in the home. They're always there to love you no matter what. Truly, truly unconditional. And it's like, I understand why people will say, oh, that's my dog now, because that dog, you know, that homie that they call the dog, that's my dog. They show unmatched loyalty that you can't get anywhere else. And it's like, yeah, that's my dog right there. You know what I'm saying? That's my boy. That's my ride or die for life. Like, I know this person is always going to have my back. And I feel like that way with, you know, Charlie and Jess. Like, even who will play fighting, Charlie does not choose my side if we're play fighting. Like, we're play fighting, you know, we'd be all cool, but second we start play fighting, he's against me, because he is 100% loyal to Jess no matter what. So it's like that unmatched loyalty is one reason that I feel like we call dogs man's best friend. And then the other thing I want to talk about is this emotional support and intuition. Dogs have that crazy sense of nature, and you know, they're not like us where they're distracted by movies and TV and music and the news and work and all that stuff. Like, they're always tapped into their nature. You know, a dog will lift his head up before somebody even rings the doorbell because they sense somebody outside. You know, a dog can sense when you're sad, when you're upset, because their intuition, they listen to it no matter what. Like, you be seeing the videos with the people who have the service dogs, and they're having a seizure, and the dog will sense the seizure coming before the person even knows it coming, and the dog will start giving signs to say, yo, you need to sit down. It'll go grab its medicine, it'll grab water, it'll do whatever it needs to do because it senses coming beforehand. And it's really crazy how connected a dog is with nature, you know. Like, that's why I used to love Charlie, because even time I rolled up to the house, he will bark before I even knock on the front door, because he already knew I was there. And it was never a, you know, somebody or, you know, intruder alert. It was more of like, hey, somebody's at the door, and then when I walk in, he'll show nothing but love, nothing but peace. You know, if I was feeling a little down or something like that, I'll sit on the ground and he'll come and just, you know, cuddle around me and just give me an opportunity to pet him. And just, you know, I feel like he knew that his presence will make you feel better. You know, he just naturally knew that I don't know what to do, but I'm gonna be here for you. I'm gonna be present for you. I'm gonna help you out, and I'm gonna give you so much love, as much love as I can in this moment, you know. And I think that is like really deep. Like, shout out to my other dog, Zach. He passed away. Zach passed away almost like 10 years ago, I think. It's been a long time since Zach passed away. But one thing I love about Zach was his intuition. His intuition was crazy. Like, one day I'll never forget, I was going away to college. You know, I was on my little winter break and I was about to take that drive back to Reno. And I remember I was up like around 3 o'clock in the morning, just finished packing, and I was just sitting on the couch waiting for my frat brother to say he was on the way. So, you know, once I got that text, you know, I went and grabbed my suitcase, and then Zach just started tripping. And it was like he knew I was about to leave again to go to college, and he did not want me to go. Like, he was at the front door. He was doing everything he could to prevent me from leaving. You know, he was nipping at my bag. He was barking in ways that he usually doesn't bark, and it was just like weird. I had to actually call 1-3 downstairs to come and grab him and hold him while I go out the front door, because he would not let me leave. And it was just like, that was one of the hardest times for me to leave for college, because it was like, usually Zach isn't like this, but today he really felt that, yo, I'm about to be gone. And now that I think about it, it's even deeper, because that's the year that I was leaving home for summer. That's the year I did wintermester and I did summer school. So I was actually gone for a whole year. probably came back like 1 week throughout the year just to pop in for a family Christmas or something, but that was it. And it's like Zach must have knew that. He must have had this intuition that this time when he leaves, he's going to be gone for a long time, not the normal few months. He's going to be gone for a while, and I don't want to deal with this. And I think that right there is like really, really crazy, the intuition dogs have. So I think that's really beautiful and will make sense why, they're men's best friends. Definitely if we were back in the days where we were hunting and gathering for our food, having a dog by your side will point out the prey before you even saw the prey, or will let you know dangers on the way before you even saw the danger. And that's the beauty of having a dog. And I think the last thing I want to talk about is companionship without judgment. That's one thing that I always admired about animals. They don't judge at all. Like they always say that the happiest dog is the homeless dog sleeping on the corner with their owner, the one that's barely eating, that's kind of stinky. That's the happiest dog because they don't care about the status. They don't care about the money. They don't care about how big the house is or nothing. They just want to be with their owner, and they just want to give love, and they just want to be loved, and that's all it is. Like all that other stuff is irrelevant to them. They don't see dollars. They don't care what type of food they have. They're not worried about, oh my God, is this pedigree or is this, something Goatshire or something like that. Like, no, they don't care about that. All they care about is I got some food, my homer's feeding me, and he's here with me, and I'm happy now. And that's all that matters, That's why it's like, so sad when we go to work, because the dog really can't tell the time for how long we were gone for. But when we come back, it seems like all that is out the way. They don't hold a grudge. I'm like, man, you was gone for 8 hours. You ain't call, check on me. You ain't log into the Zoom to see if I was okay. You ain't do nothing. You was just gone. No, they don't hold no grudges. They don't care about none about that. They gonna come in, second you walk in the house, they're gonna give you love. You could have the worst day in the world. You could have been the worst person in the world at the time. The dog is still gonna come in. When you walk home, they're gonna give you love, And that right there is the beauty of having the dogs in your life, the pets, just that unconditional loyalty, that sense of intuition, that, they don't care. They're not comparing anything. They don't care about the money. They don't care about the house. They don't care about the jewelry. All they want to do is be around you and just vibe with you and make sure that you're in good vibes and you're good to go. And, just a little pet behind the ear every now and then, I'm sure a little treat, and that's it, show them some love. They'll show you love, So, I want to dedicate this episode to Charlie. Thank you so much for the 14 years of love, of companionship, of happiness you helped fill the Esdel house with. Thank you for always being there for him, for always being a protector, for always just providing in your own little way, even if it was just to let somebody know the door was there, or just to be petted on and just be loved on in this situation. We just want to thank you so much. I'm praying that you made it to doggy heaven. I'm praying that, we get to see you later. I'm praying that you're up there. You get to play with your sister again and anybody else in your family that we weren't even aware of. And I just pray that, everything's going to go well. I'm sending my prayers out to everybody out there that's hurting right now. Anybody that may have lost a pet, a loved one, a family member, anybody they consider their dog, like that person that ride or die, that never going nowhere, I just want to send love out to everybody like out there that's going through pain, heartache. We will make it through this. This is why we're going to just continue to swim. Like, yes, it's hard right now. It's hard to swim. You might not want to swim no more, but let's just keep swimming. Let's keep pushing ourselves, and let's just keep going forward. Because Charlie wouldn't want us to stop. He'll want us to keep improving and keep going forward, and get him some new treats. So let's keep fighting out there like we're trying to get him some new treats. But with that being said, I hope that resonated with you guys today. I hope it helped somebody out in some way, shape, or form. If you're going through a hard time right now, just know you're not the only one. This world is tough right now, but we will get through this. We will get through this. Let's just keep swimming. But with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great day, a marvelous afternoon, a splendid evening, and remember to just keep swimming.